good?
Oh, good.
Welcome
Hold,
to...
hold on. Whoa, let's go, team.
Oh, I'm putting that in. Well,
You're going to die, you put that in.
I'm going to put that in. Welcome to Talk of the Town, proudly brought to you by Uniquely Nelson. I'm your host, Chris Butler. With me, Simon Duffy, General Manager of Uniquely Nelson. Nice to see you again, Si.
Good evening, ladies.
Hello.
Today, we're
to see
coming
you.
to you from Expressions Florist on Hardy Street. And joining us today is Kelly Gordon and Ange Holland. Great to have you
Hi.
here.
Thank you.
Beautifully dressed for the occasion. Very floral looking today.
And they told
We
me
try.
Is this everyday attire or is
Yes,
it
it
a floral
is.
dress?
Yes.
Yeah.
they told
Pretty
me earlier
common.
this morning that they whipped them up over the weekend.
Oh, did they?
Handmade.
Handmade. Oh,
Handmaid's tale.
oh wow. Clever. So, first of all, Kelly, can you tell us a little bit about your background? Where do you originally hail from?
Yes, Christchurch
Ah,
originally. I went to Lincoln High School, so I lived sort of in the country. And then I spent a lot of time down south, in the Mackenzie country. Moved up,
doing down there?
mainly hospitality.
Mhm.
Yeah. And at a winery.
Perfect.
Yeah, and then moved up to Nelson with my eldest boy about 11 years ago after the earthquakes.
Oh,
Yeah, so
So the Christchurch earthquakes affected you quite a bit. Is that right? Did you move back to Christchurch and then came up, or?
yeah, well, I had a wee stint in Brisbane,
Ah, yeah.
but it was too hot over there. So went back to Christchurch just in time for the earthquakes.
Ah, great.
And then I thought,
Yeah.
and I've always loved Nelson. I came up for family holidays, and I actually went to Nelson College for Girls for a very brief time when I was about 15.
Oh,
So
right. Mm.
always wanted to be up here.
Mm.
Yeah.
And what about you, Ange?
I was born here and
Aha.
I've been here my whole life.
Are you a Nelsonian or a Tasmanian?
I'm a Nelsonian.
Oh,
Yeah.
gee, rare breed.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. So, schooling, was that Nelson College for Girls or
It was Nayland College.
Nathan College? Oh,
Yes.
okay. So
Yes.
you were just on the boundary.
Yes.
Did you
Yep.
go to Morgan Intermediate?
No. I was Victory, Nelson Intermediate, and Nayland College.
Ah,
Right.
Mm,
I see what you're saying.
yeah.
Why did you go to Nayland? Did they not want you in town?
Well, we moved to Stoke.
It's understandable.
Yeah. They didn't want me at Nayland either. But no, we moved to Stoke, so we were just down
Yeah.
the road from Nayland.
Good school though.
It was
wasn't
it's a very
Yeah.
good school. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, fantastic.
So, tell me, how did you, or both of you, or one at a time, whatever, how did you become interested in where we presently sit in the florist business at Expressions Florist? How did it all occur?
Well, my boyfriend and I moved from Twizel to Christchurch, and I wanted out of hospitality, and I was 19, and I went and did a floristry course, and then I sort of went round in a big loop, had babies and travelled around. Then I was doing my diploma in health sciences, and then I went back into floristry. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I was meant to be doing it.
Well, health and healthy flowers, it kind of, it does. There's a crossover.
Yeah.
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 I kind of fell into floristry. It was something I wasn't interested in. I always wanted to be a truck driver, believe it or
Yeah.
not, growing up. And when I left school, I, 16, didn't have a driver's license. So truck driving was out of the question. And
Right.
my first job was at a floristry florist shop. So I kind of just went from there and started training and realized I was actually good at it and I enjoyed it.
Mm.
And I just stayed in the in the job for quite a few years, and then I left and did hospitality for a long time, and had my children. And 4 years ago, Rosie, the previous owner, had an ad in the newspaper looking for a florist, and I just walked in and said, "Hey, I'm interested." And she said, "Can you do up a bouquet of flowers?" And I thought,
Wow.
I was going I was like, "Oh, I haven't done this for a long time."
Yeah.
And I just did up a bouquet of flowers, and she hired me. And
Wow,
I've been
just
here
like
ever
that.
since. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So basically, you're inherited because.
Yeah.
So how did you get involved?
Well, I was studying, and then my sister-in-law told me that Rosie needed a hand, and she knew that I had dabbled in floristry. So I came and introduced myself to Rosie, which at the time I was a little bit scared to do it.
Is it not the florist side, the business side?
Well, yeah, like I think generally just going back into customer service, and because I was studying correspondence, so I was at home all the time and my health was not good. But then when I got in here, Rosie was like the best medicine ever.
She's my inspiration.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And we worked alongside each other for a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean, we just clicked. Like you have,
Mhm.
it's such an intimate
Yeah.
little shop that
Mm.
Yeah.
you
It's just the two of us.
you have to get on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's worked out really well, actually.
It has. I mean, you're both dressed the same.
Yeah.
So at some point so you just started working for Rosie, but when did the conversation come about actually taking the business over?
I think when I knew she was trying to sell it, I always knew she was trying to sell it. And then I mean, the creative side of it was really important to me. And like I say, it was such a good medicine coming to work every day. And I thought, do I really want to be doing health? Because this is sort of, it's good. So I just had that conversation with Rosie and bit the bullet, really.
So and did she kind of ease you into it, or it was like,
Yeah.
okay, let's do a deal and right, good luck, or did you work alongside her a little bit
she
to learn
was-
the ropes? Yeah.
She was amazing.
Yeah.
She taught me everything on all the basics, especially I think the one thing that scared me was working with couriers, knowing the geographical, where to send things and how to send things. And so but I don't do my book work. So
Yeah.
I've got a partner that does that, thank God.
Nice.
Because me and maths or numbers, no.
Yeah.
So it works out quite well.
Yeah.
So Rosie, she set me up and then she left, and yeah, it's been quite natural. I mean, it's always every day you learn something new.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you're running your own business, and I'm in and out of here, 2 or 3 times a week. It's always a pleasure to come in. You say there's things are curious and those sorts of things. You'd never know.
Yeah.
To me, you guys are running a really smooth operation.
Because he's always having to apologise to people, isn't he? Often having to buy sorry flowers and sorry about that.
I come in here, excuse me, do I buy flowers to support other people having a bad day?
Yes.
I
yes.
do.
you do. Yes.
There's been a lot of pain in the last few years, Craig.
Craig.
Chris. Martin Luther King, whatever you want to be today.
You'll have to put me on that list now.
Yeah, that list. But
Yeah,
no,
well, that's true.
Coming here is always delightful. You're in a delightful space.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's
And
so-
of course, Ange, you'd been here for a little while, so I suppose some of the ropes you were able to help out with, and then of course locations, being a local.
Oh,
Oh my God.
No.
Okay,
Right.
don't ask me for directions.
terrible. I've lived here my whole life,
Ah,
and someone asks me for directions, I'll probably send them in the opposite direction. I'm
see,
clueless.
this is an interesting thing
Yeah.
because I have this conversation sometimes, and I'll go like, "Where's Tahuna?" and they'll point the opposite way.
yeah.
Yeah.
I won't do that to you on camera, but
Yeah. Really bad. I remember when I was, I was a lot younger and lived in Stoke, and this car full of people pulled up and said, "Where's Seaview Road?" Well, I was about standing 10 minutes away from it, and I said, "Oh, it's down in Tahuna somewhere." I said, "Oh, they went." It's in Stoke.
Oh,
Yeah. I thought Seaview.
the
Yeah.
most geographically misplaced person in the South Island. All right.
Can I drive around? I must drive around with my eyes closed because when I'm saying to someone, "Oh, I'm just on," and I think, what street am I on? Bloody hell, where am I?
So the
But
trick
I'm
is
really bad.
order the flowers through Ange, but order the courier
Yeah.
through Kelly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what do you guys offer here besides flowers?
We recycle.
It's a good time.
Okay. So tell us about what you offer here.
Besides flowers,
No, any particular flowers service?
a small amount of
Sort of.
gift-weary, but we recycle the Nespresso capsules, which is like actually amazing how many people
drop
come
them
in
off.
and drop them
it's
off.
very popular.
Um,
And it brings people into the shop, and
yeah,
a lot of the time they're just dropping off their capsules, but we have a bit of a yarn, and then every now and then they'll buy flowers, and it just brings people into the shop.
yeah,
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
yeah. And then Phantom, you drop your posters off for Phantom
Oh, right.
posters.
Mm.
So little drop off point, but I mean it brings people in.
Mm.
But
Stuff.
you've
Yeah.
got gifts as well, haven't you? So if you look
Yeah.
around the shop, I mean, there's, if you wanted to make a gift pack or a gift basket, you've got plenty of.
And plants, we like
yeah, right.
people buying the plants before we kill them. We are not, we're not very good with
We're
plants.
florists. Yeah. And we like to support local with the chocolates.
Yeah,
Yes, Carl
Hogarth
Hogarth's
and
doing really well. Yeah.
yeah, and Adelhard chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
So, most popular times of the year, I mean, there's the obvious. I mean, we've got Valentine's Day that obviously must have, run you off your feet. But what are some of the other popular times of the year that we might not be so aware of? And I guess the other types of services that you provide for.
Well, definitely Mother's Day. And that's not just Mother's Day, like that runs for like a whole week. I think what people probably aren't aware of is the winter season is unfortunately when we say goodbye to a lot of people.
Right.
Yeah, so a lot of
the lack of flowers, or because it's winter. Because you think in the winter there's flowers around, you want a brightness and a bit of looking, for the house or to give to people. It'd be.
Yeah, but I think I heard this too, actually, through our, through I think it was funeral place, that it's winter is a busier time of the year, and I guess I imagine ill health and the cold.
Yeah.
Are you saying it is a busier time?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
My
Yeah, I was
fault, Chris's mistake,
politely,
sorry.
I was not, I didn't know what you were talking about.
Edit.
So I was
Kelly.
thinking-
Kelly, it's fine. It's okay. There's a lot of us out there,
Good.
but we just let the world roll on.
That's not inspired.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. My question. What's the most popular arrangement? Hey?
That's a hard
It's
one.
a hard one. Yeah.
So there's the
It's-
classic roses,
Yeah.
but is that the biggest sellers?
Yeah. I mean, what people don't realize is it's not at Valentine's Day. It's not its natural time for roses in New Zealand. So the growers have to force them. And so they're not actually that great. It's best to get roses. Well, now they're
Yeah,
beautiful
yeah.
now. So that's a bit misconceived, but roses are definitely popular.
So just on the arrangements, because you would both have maybe like a hairdresser, one hairdresser in this chair, another one there that had different styles. Do you have your own particular style about arranging a bouquet or an arrangement of flowers, or is this a formula to it, or you'd have your own special sort of look and feel, individual feels between the both of you?
Yeah, that's a good question. I guess the formula's there.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to call it. So we're very similar in style.
Yep.
Similar but slightly different. I'm probably more spaced. Whereas you're probably a bit more compact.
Yeah.
It's really complicated to explain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking about arranging flowers.
Yeah,
It's
talking
not
about
personalities.
Well, I've got little hands.
Yeah.
It's quite funny, really, because when me and Rosie stood next to each other, we were just totally like, I'm 5'1" or nothing, and I don't know how tall she was. But yeah, like I soon realized making bouquets was really hard because I'm pretty sure my 8-year-old's got the same. Yeah.
So you have to adapt.
Yeah.
Do you sort of check in with each other after or do you get so busy, once you've done an arrangement, it just gets ready for service, or do you sort of cross critique each other a bit or not?
Definitely.
Yeah.
You do,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Just because sometimes you might not be having the greatest day, and we are our worst critics. Like when we're both very perfectionists. So if we're not seeing it, we always ask each other. Most of the time, we're just being too hard on ourselves.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes we can do up a bouquet and we can redo it 3 times because we're just not happy with it. It's just not coming together. Other times we can just whip it up. And so no, we'll say, hey, what do you think of this? Colour's okay. And we'll go, oh, just move that flower and put it down here, sort of thing. Yeah.
So challenges you've talked about, obviously, Rosie being able to give you the opportunity to ease into the business, but what do you think for you taking over the business has been the main challenge for you?
I think having children.
Right.
Yeah.
So being able to do the juggling act.
Yeah.
Right.
And I sort of feel like a single mum majority of the time. Also, like I've health problems, like
Right.
I've got fibromyalgia and you name it, like thyroid problems, and so that's like a real battle to get up in the morning.
Yeah, right.
But what I've found is this place has been really, really good for me.
So that's the motivator.
Yeah.
So it's the thing that puts the feet on the floor in the morning.
Yeah.
And
like I painted for years, and I sold paintings and did exhibitions, and so that creative outlet was really good, especially for mental health. And like then coming in here,
An extension of it.
It was, I just sort of switched from one thing to another and stopped taking a heap of medication. So this place was quite special in that respect, but still challenging.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, I just like hit a wall.
Mm.
So I'm glad I don't have a social life.
Yeah.
I would not be able to go out for dinner or something.
Well,
Like,
it's funny, isn't it? Because when you go into business, I guess the perception is that, oh, I'm my own boss, I have my own free time. But I don't know anyone in business that isn't working harder than a
yeah.
9 to 5 job that, isn't doing quotes or invoices at night or just can't let it go. Maybe that's the type of personality, but also in a way, it's finding something you love doing, and
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like work so much.
I don't love it nowadays. Is we're connected the whole time. You can go home, leave your laptop at work. A lot of people just take it home. They're always checking your phones. It's continuous. But the 9 to 5 doesn't exist anymore.
Not really.
So you're operating in the Nelson CBD. Kelly, what do you like most about Nelson? And Ange, what would you like to see change? So, Kelly, what do you
You clearly
like
love
about
it.
Nelson?
I think,
Well, there's two sides of that question. You can actually answer them both, but
I like, like I said before, I've always loved Nelson. It's the aesthetics. So like, you've the gardens and the cathedral, and then, the backdrop of the mountains and the rivers right, walking distance. And so I love all the sort of natural surroundings. And it's not diluted with huge buildings, like I remember old Christchurch used to be so dark and dingy and concrete, and that's changed now, but I think it's a pretty town.
is that?
Yeah.
It's not big.
No, and I like that. It's the right size, for me. I got lost in Brisbane. I felt like, well, I did go from a Marama.
Yep, no, you didn't.
So that was an eye opener. But yeah, Nelson's the right size town for me anyway. Yeah.
And Ange, what would you see, what would you like out of Nelson in the next 12 months, 5 years, 10 years? What do you think? Where do you think we should go?
I would actually like to see kind of what Christchurch has adopted, the riverside. More markets.
Little pits all over the place.
Yeah. I loved the container mall that Christchurch had after the earthquake. I thought that was really quirky, quite unique. And I'd love more nightlife here. Like people coming into the city, lights and
People attract people.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like when I say people attract people, people are attracted to people. But the more people that are around, we talk about inner city living.
Yeah.
And it makes people know there's more people around. It makes it safer.
Yeah, absolutely.
It makes cities safer.
Me and my partner love just coming into town at night and just walking around, and we even do that in the middle of winter.
Is that because you're lost?
Yeah.
Is that because you got lost?
What?
Well, we didn't know where Seaview Road was or who the Nui was. He lived in Stoke. Where are we, honey? What's that taxi driver? Gotta go home.
So we come into town in the middle of winter, and it's just dead. There's just nobody around, and it's quite sad. It's like, where is everybody?
But Nelson's always been like that.
Yeah.
The kid used to come and Saturday night was a big night, teenager. And then
remember we used to have late night Fridays?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Everybody was into town.
All the farmers came in, and mum and dad would give you 50 cents to bugger off somewhere for an hour or two, where dad went to the pub, mum went shopping or something. Yeah. But it was it's like the big little city. As a kid, it was like, wow.
Yeah,
you're right. Bring back late night Fridays.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know what destroyed late night Fridays?
What?
Saturday morning trading.
Oh, yeah.
And then
that was
24/7.
Saturday trading,
So Fridays win.
Yeah.
That's right, because
7 days a week.
all the holiday makers used to turn up on Sunday and walk around. New Zealand is closed.
Please turn out the lights.
That's right.
Yeah.
So not far till Christmas, and so what's coming up? What happens at this time of the year? And then do you get a bit of a break? And then what happens into the new year?
Right. So it gets pretty busy in those last few weeks. The very first year I took over was a nightmare because I was just learning. I didn't know what to expect. I think I was in tears like every night. And then we sort of knew what to expect after that. But we closed for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And this time round, we're actually gonna refurbish, paint, and get it looking a bit more.
Sprucey.
Yeah.
Sprucey.
Yeah.
And then going into because you go into February, I suppose that's building up for Valentine's. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Well-
feels like you just get back, and
Yeah.
then it's like, boom, you've got to start.
Start talking
planning.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you do? Do you just run the flowers down? You'll be open to the 23rd, 24th?
No, this year we're being I don't know if it's cheeky or not, but we're gonna close on Friday the 20th
Yeah.
because I can't
I think a lot of
get
people will be
flowers.
then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like normally I'd get my flowers on Monday morning, and then it's like
You got to wait to get rid of them.
you've got to get
Yeah.
So
What do you do with flowers if you are shutting down, if it's a long weekend? Can you freeze them? Or you chill them down? What do you do if you've got excess, got 4 days off?
most
What do you do?
end of the year it's actually quite nice, and we'll just go and give them to people.
Yeah. We
Right.
just stand at the
Oh.
door.
Level
and-
one. That's level one. Sweet one.
Yeah, I remember Rosie saying one year she had quite a lot left over, and so she went down to New Asia restaurant and just gave them out to all the
Oh, neat.
patrons.
Mm.
Yeah.
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 Nice.
So yeah, we'll just see who's on the street and be like,
Just give them flowers.
Well,
Yeah.
there you go. On the last day,
So
be
you-
sure to give them flowers.
Yeah. I had an idea the other day. Don't you laugh? Settle down.
Always get
Get
nervous.
a bit high and get around.
It's yourself.
Speak up.
Simon had an idea.
Oh, no, it's an idea for you guys.
Wow.
What's just gone up in the last 24 hours?
oh, the basket.
The baskets. I
Wow.
had an idea, and I cleared it with the council, that you can get a wee sticker with your logo on, and you put it, so the sticker's going that way or that way, and you start on the other side of town, and you have arrows, so it's like a little, what do you call it? Trail thing. And
Yeah.
all the arrows keep pointing down here, and then all the ones that keep pointing down here, and there's a big sign saying Expressions,
Oh, so and you
I
had,
like that.
and they all point to your floral shop.
you had that all cleared, did you?
And they,
I doubt that.
But that's a
you can,
a good idea.
and then
Yeah.
there's an arrow that just comes straight in here.
That reminds me, the Antarctic Centre do that in Christchurch, and you see little penguin feet.
Yes,
Yeah, and they will take you to the
penguins.
Antarctic Centre.
There you
Yeah.
go.
That's right.
yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, so you stole the
Good
idea.
idea.
That's not a bad idea.
don't know if
That's a
it's-
great
I
idea.
don't know if it's
Yeah.
legal.
But I did notice the baskets this morning. They
Yeah.
look great.
Yes.
They look
Great.
really good.
Yeah, I love them.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, they're great. That's one of the, we had there's a lot of discussion a year ago about the flowers and the cost.
Yeah.
But, we spent a lot of time talking to you guys in the business and to locals, but we also spent a lot of time asking the questions of tourists, what do they like about Nelson?
Mm.
And they love the flowers.
Yeah.
They come there and say, your city is a beautiful city.
Mm,
Yeah, we get more people obviously in the summer and the spring and autumn. We love the flowers. We love the flowers. We love the flowers. Love the flowers. So long may that continue.
Yeah.
And it is a point of difference for us.
Yeah, it is. And flowers make people happy.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm.
And add to the occasion. And speaking of which, I mean, you do all occasions. So, for instance, if there's weddings or big family occasions, unfortunate occasions like funerals and those kind of things, you can help organise people with all their
Yeah,
arrangements.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
There's
Mhm.
there's lots of reasons
Yeah.
for flowers. It's and it was sort of crazy when when we were going through all of that, and I soon realized that a lot of people can't be places because of COVID,
Mm.
so they would send flowers.
yeah, right.
So it wasn't a terrible time for us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's no,
it's surprising.
there's always a reason.
Yeah.
Do you have, you could do expressions for no reason at all.
Yeah.
Just give flowers.
Mm.
It doesn't have to be an occasion, you know,
Absolutely.
and that'll be $20 for that idea as well.
Hey, Kelly and Ange, thank you very much for hosting us in
Thank
this
you.
beautiful setting. It's fantastic, and it's great to meet you guys and learn more about you. And this is what this is really all about: is to meet our locals and meet the people within our city. And geez, we learn a lot. That's for sure. And one of the things that comes across is just the passion for the city and the passion for what they do. And especially when you talk about the creativity side, they love what they do, and they add to the flavour of the city. So you guys play a big part of that. So we really appreciate you doing that. Yeah. And don't forget, if you're passing Expressions, you're on Hardy Street, pop in, say hi to the girls, and
Definitely.
I'm sure they can load you up with all sorts of flowers and gifts.
Trying to make the special announcement now. Phil.
Right. Okay.
Yours is the first podcast where, with the software we've got nowadays, when people are watching it, they can reach across, touch their screen, and do scratch and sniff, and the smell comes through.
Does it?
Yeah, it's with the new AI technology.
AI technology.
Scratch and sniff expressions.
Ah.
Yeah.
We don't even smell flowers
No.
We're so used to it
Yeah.
in here that
You
we
don't.
cannot smell it.
Yeah.
Oh,
See, even I didn't know that.
There will be someone out there that will go.
All right. Well, thank you very much indeed. Heartfelt thanks to Kelly and Ange from Expressions Florist on Hardy Street. You can catch this podcast along with others at uniquelynelson.co.nz and talknelson.co.nz and put that back. And on Spotify, just look for Uniquely Nelson. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to join us next time for more from Talk of the Town. This is Chris Butler and Simon Duffy signing off. Put that back. Until next time, Nelson.
hey, just before we tune off, on behalf of Kelly and Ange, we'd like to present you, Chris, with your family for the
thank you.
Christmas.
With a box of bees.
So I've gone out and got this for you. On behalf of Uniquely Nelson, thank you very much for your hard work for the city. Kelly, for you. Thank you very much. Oops, let's hold it there. There we go. And I brought my brother. He's tall and skinny like me. Hey, thank you very much. Merry Christmas.
You have to pay for all this now.